Hello, everyone. So, for the social studies interview, I chose to do one of my colleagues from the school that we work at. Her name is Miss Rachel Harris. She's been teaching for quite while, 16 years. She's taught many grade levels, different content areas. This year, she's teaching individual and society social studies, sixth grade. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the interview. And here we go. All right, how you doing this evening? I'm here to interview you. My name is Tiffany Jones. And what's your
My name is Rachel Harris.
All right, so how long have you been a teacher?
I've been teaching for 16 years.
Okay. All right. What grades have you taught?
I've taught first, second, fourth, fifth, and sixth.
All right. Describe your school and student demographics.
Well, the demographics at this particular school are African American, Hispanic, and Caucasian. We do have some Asian Americans. We have we have a good mix of kids.
Um. So what kind of school is this?
It's the middle school. It goes from it's an IB school. It goes from sixth to 10th grade. If you go on the IB track, excuse me, you start in sixth grade and you can continue here to 10th grade. But if you're just doing a regular sixth grade curriculum, then you go from sixth to eighth, and then you go on to your next high school.
Okay. Okay. How in any way, if any, does this impact your desire to teach social studies?
In the school,
Yeah.
um, I think I like teaching social studies because it teaches ancient civilization, how life started, and it gets the kids to thinking about the different technologies that we
You
have.
say you like teaching.
Ancient civilization. Because of explaining to kids like where our foundation actually started, with religion, government, the way we live, how we live, the things we have when we live, that type of thing.
Okay. Um, all right. How did your teacher education program prepare you to teach social studies?
Um, did they actually teach? We did do some activities as far as social studies is concerned, but actually being in the school, like actually going through the experience, that's what helped me to understand and to be able to teach social studies. The teaching program, it prepares you for the basics, but you really don't get the grit part of it until I think he does this. I think so. You don't get the grit part of it until you actually get into the mix
Okay.
of the actual classroom.
Okay. How comfortable are you teaching? Are you with teaching social studies?
I'm comfortable. This is my third year teaching social studies, so the knowledge that I have from teaching the first year had kind of prepared me for this year, and sometimes I have to change up things, but I feel that I am very comfortable teaching the subject of social studies.
Okay. Okay. How do you think your children feel about social studies?
My students or my personal children?
Your students.
I think at first they probably thought it was, oh, it's boring. We ain't gonna learn nothing at the beginning. But
Okay.
once we started actually getting into the lessons, and they had to do some research on their own to find out about civilizations, I think it helped to pique their interest and to have a better understanding of ancient civilization, because I think what they taught in elementary was a lot of U.S. history and not ancient civilization. And whatever state you live in, like we live in North Carolina, so they would talk North Carolina social studies versus ancient civilization.
Okay. Okay, so this is kind of like two scenario questions. You give an assignment, a student ridicules the assignment, saying it doesn't make sense. What would you do?
Sometimes that depends on the student. If the assignment doesn't make sense, excuse me, I will try to explain it to the students, but most of the time I have another student to communicate with that student, because sometimes kids can communicate better with each other and explaining things. Um, I would just let them know, like, depending on the assignment, that the assignment is for their benefit, not
Right.
um, for them to feel like you don't have to learn the information, but the information is there to be taught and for you to receive it.
Right. All right. How do you help students experience success?
I feel like that's different for every student, because success for one student could be them basically understanding government. I just always try to make sure that they can see the other's perspective of of a situation, because
Okay.
they're so sometimes kids are so used to what their parents have taught them, which is good. But I also let them see that there are other perspectives out there. We don't always have to agree with it, but
Okay.
we should be able to understand it.
Okay. Um, this is questions about instructional techniques. How would you integrate technology into the curriculum you would teach?
I integrate technology as far as them doing research. They do have to do a lot of research. So they use their Chromebooks a lot. They also have to, with the Promethean board, I bring in videos, like sometimes rap videos that go along with what we're teaching, to show them that this can be fun. You can learn stuff, like watching a video.
Creating our own PowerPoints.
Yep, PowerPoints. They've created Google Slides. They've also used, like, even with making the brochures,
Yeah.
they came up with like a lot of their own ideas. I just give them, like, here you go. You started. It's almost like building a house. How you want your house to be built may be different than somebody else's, but you still getting the same. You getting a house.
Right.
So that's how I try to do with social studies. Even though you may not go the same route that Johnny went to get it, you got it based on how you went through it.
Right. Describe your teaching style and how you accommodate the different learning styles of the students in your class.
Um, My teaching style is a lot hands on. I'm a visual person, so I have to like look at all learning styles, whether they're not verbal, whether they're hands on, whether they are. Some kids just have to listen. You know, they
Yeah.
have to be able to hear it. Um, I've always tried to touch on all of them as much as I can. That's why I kind of give them ability to choose some of the ways that they present assignments to me. Sometimes it's one way, but they can still do it their own way. They can add their little touch to it. What's up, like you said?
Um,
And a lot of it is like just making sure you get to know the students to see how they learn, and what's interesting to them. Like a lot of times, like even like I was telling you earlier about the videos, a lot of kids at first they was like, this gonna be boring until they hear something like rap music or it could be even some funky rock music or something like that, and they're like, oh my gosh. And then they like to keep playing the videos, and I said the video, because it's repetitive, then you can hear it and you can learn it.
Yeah.
So I try to use a lot of different things for all the kids because everybody learns differently.
Right. Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have today. Thank you for letting me view you. And this is the end of the interview. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, so I chose to do the interview with Miss Harris because she has a lot of experience when it comes to the classroom. I really admire her and the encouragement she gives, being that I'm a third year beginning teacher. She gives me a lot of advice and ideas because of the knowledge. She's knowledgeable in all other content areas. This concludes the social studies interview.